Hello, and welcome to Demon Souls Episode 5. A very special episode because I lost all my audio for it, and now I'm re-recording the audio as I rewatch the video. So, get some in-depth play-by-play analysis. I decided to jump back into the Flame Lurker, had done some leveling up and didn't want to just give him one attempt and leave. So I was really struggling with trying to figure out his attacks and see if I'm targeted onto him at the moment. When you're targeted onto the boss, you can't actually run. If you try and hold circle, you'll just roll, you won't actually run. And his attacks are, like, he has a very small skill set, but it has quite a large AoE, so I was trying to avoid it by like rolling, but I just kept getting caught. So I think the name of the game to take down this guy was to just give like shit damage. A frustrating fight because you can see like those little lava pools on the ground which just set you on fire, do damage. He sets you on fire, which like semi-staggers you. So you can't necessarily react as quickly as you'd like. But I have plenty of healing items, so I was really confident on this attempt. So that's the big opportunity, so we go that slam to get in and get a hit, but the problem is, as you can see, if there's flames on the ground, you can trigger a stagger. So you can see I'm rolling there a lot. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to run out of the way. So I'm holding circle, I'm wondering why I'm not running. I can't remember if it's this attempt or not, but I'll actually turn off the auto lock because it's more convenient to be able to dodge and run out of the way. But the way it is at the moment when you're locked on is you can't run. I don't know if it's the original score that they have in this, but my god, the music is so good. So yeah, you can see I've actually I've turned off the auto lock, and that little spin around was to test. So now that I have the auto lock turned off, well, not that it matters because I got clipped there anyway, but having the auto lock turned off means I'm just a little bit more maneuverable because he's such a quick boss. I don't necessarily know how the invulnerability frames like actually work. I don't think I was hitting them as much. So I was really feeling this this attempt. This is attempt number 3. So I popped the consumable that increases your fire resistance. So I currently have some fire resist gear, fire resist ring, so I'm just really just focusing on getting myself topped off. Going in, let him do a slam, run around, give him a little kick. So he does like a punch, one of those like fire punches with his left and his right. You can roll through them. It's only the slams you can't roll through, but the problem is his punches carry on, the hitbox carries on behind him. So you'll see a couple of examples where I've dodged it, but he gets me on the backswing. So far, I really am enjoying the game. Quite different to Dark Souls. Especially like the boss designs. This guy, I think, is a good example of what I'm not sure if I like about the gameplay. It feels like, I don't know, maybe if I was better at the game, I'd be able to avoid everything, but it feels like you're going to take damage, and that's why you're able to have so much freedom. You kind of have to, I've talked about it before, and the kind of attritional nature of the game, that you kind of just have to slog through. If he does the short leap, it's good to be able to get in on top of him. So at this point, as I was frantically just trying to focus on him and not look at the health bar, it's such a trap because when you start looking at the health bar, you start rushing the boss because you think, oh, and you're already having down. So go for that extra hit and it'll be over soon. So run around in circles, try and bait out the attack. But you can even see, like, I'm getting more ballsy. See there, that's like an example of what I said. I got at the very end of that attack, he hit me and just comboed me to hell. So, attempt number 4. We can do it this time. We're low on resources. The fire resist additional buff is gone. Fine. You must be wondering, surely I've learned from my mistakes and I won't keep getting hit by the same mechanic over and over. One mechanic of the game that I haven't really done much with or really practiced much with is, I think it is like each weapon has a like optimal range, or like there's a certain point in its arc when it hits something it does more damage. I think it's, I got an item that increases the damage of like optimal swings. I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's a cool idea, but I kind of would nearly prefer if there was like a training dummy or something like that, so I could understand where those hits are. But it's funny, it might exist in Dark Souls as well, I'm not sure, but like that feels nearly like a MMO-esque mechanic where you have to like practice your class, you have to practice each weapon, or like a Monster Hunter kind of thing. So we're down to the basic herbs now, so these only heal a fraction of my health. Hit him in the butt. So you can see my health barely comes up. So absolutely chugging these. There's another zombie caught me right at the back swing. So you think you might roll through the initial attack, but catches you on the other side. Okay, we're alright. Sorgus Wobbly seems to like chain a couple of hits together. So I like the idea, well, I have my hang-ups about the healing systems again, but I like the idea that you can choose, depending on what the situation is, you can change. So I changed my, just absolutely squeezed it out there. But I like the idea that you can change item depending on how hurt you are. So like if you just need to top up, you use your relatively cheap and common. But then if you're like one hit from death, you have one that heal you up to full. And obviously that's reflected by their weight. So you have a weight system in the game. You can only carry a certain amount of items. So if you are just stacked with healing items, it means you can't really pick up anything when you're out in Boletaria. So again, I'm doing my best not to look at that health bar. It cost me last time. So 2-hit combo there. Usually just does one attack for the slam, but it's effective. So tempted to go for that second swing. Just taking it super cautious now. I've glanced down at the health bar a couple of times. Finish him off. Oof. Flame Lurker. Tough fight. But, Jesus, that was 4 attempts and I burned through pretty much all my healing. So, took a little break, came back and decided to plow on and keep going. Have obviously the 26,000 souls from fighting him, so went down and picked, there's a couple of items around, grabbed them, and decided I would press on. Why not? Underground temple. So, instantly saw the bones like, alright, here we go, skeletons. It's getting ready for the good old reviving skeletons to deal with that. So, didn't spend my souls, popped in, straight into another boss. Dragon Gods. So far, I've faced a sentient slime puddle, a tall boy, a fire monkey, and now I'm facing a literal god. So, cutting quick here. Kept dying. Get my souls. Died. Got my souls. Died. So didn't really get the idea of the dragon god was running around constantly trying to figure out to bait out his attacks. And after probably about 20 minutes, I finally figured it out that he is like a trick boss. So you need to hide out of his line of sight. If he can't see you, he won't hit you. So even Dark Souls has crap stealth sections. Or Demon Souls. Shot one in the arm. He was not best pleased about that. I was full sure he had seen me there. This is for anyone who's played World of Warcraft. This is very reminiscent of the last boss in Dragon Soul. Really cool looking boss. Second shot. And in case you didn't know, the next weak spot is his chin, for some reason. Just take the time and kill this little wizard. He's not going anywhere. More shinies. So it turns out there is an item in there, which I think is a really cool sword, but apparently my tendency is too low. So there's another mechanic in the game, World Tendency, which is based on different things you do. So if you kill bosses, it pushes you towards white. If you die while in either a soul form or in human form, it gives you a negative, and then if you kill NPCs, it gives you a negative. But I think because my soul tendency is pure white, I can't get that item now until I do the correct playthrough. I think there's a couple of areas like that in the game, is that pretty much it's going to be blocked off unless you have your tendency to be pure white. So killing that was an archdemon, so you obtain the soul of an archdemon. The thick colours of fog shall oppress you no more. So once I saw that, I was like, great, going back to well, let's see what this guy has to say.
For demon soul, did you? I'm impressed. Yes, indeed I am. Stay the path. you will soon be a monster yourself. Can't you see? You've fallen for their trap. You. Have you seen my corporeal flesh? Has my body gone rotten? I'm sorry. Please leave me alone. Who are you? I don't remember anything.
So this is really weird because he was quite friendly to me, and then slowly in that just that range of conversation, he completely forgot who I was. So I think what happened was possibly his body was destroyed. So his soul is in the Nexus and it's being respawned. But I think it's like he can't find where his body is anymore, or he hasn't attempted to get it. And because he hasn't attempted to get it, he's been away from it so long, he's forgotten his humanity. But he actually disappears when you go back. There's just a soul of like the unknown hero or something like that in his spot. So he just disappears. It's very sad. So I spent all my souls. I did some leveling, increased my strength, increased my weapon. So I think my axe is now a +9 battle axe. So sticking with the basic weapon, why not? So this is the official that I saw when I faced the Terror Knight, and I want to punch him in his bepustuled face, but he scampers off. So as you can see, I'm actually wearing the official outfit because it has good fire resist. So I mean, you see carriages that are bouncing up and down, you instantly assume that they're 100% going to break. So I was super sketch moving through here. I didn't want to get caught by dogs. So I tried to see if I could smash them open. But you can't. So this was really cool. So it's obviously shiny there. I could see the fire up at the top. I knew it was a trap. But then you pick it up and it's just a Dregling shield. So it was 100% a trap. It's not even a good item. It's a crappy shield. So it was laid there just to spoof you. So I'm guessing these guys they must be demons as well, or infected by demons, because they only appeared when a lance came back. And I think is the reading through like their item descriptions as well, it's like they don't seem to be human, and the local populace like despise them and would see them as a evil thing. Went for a parry there and failed miserably. That's a running theme in this playthrough, is going for parries when you don't need to and failing them. So I do like what I've found so far in the game is they do present you with plenty of paths um, when you're going in the same direction. So I guess it's probably easier is when each kind of world is like a little self-contained. You don't necessarily need to link. Like this doesn't necessarily need to link to Stonefang Tunnel. This frightened the life out of me because I wasn't expecting. Just turned, popped a healing, and next thing I saw this thing running at me. So there's like spies now. But I think as you can present the player with more options to move about the world, because it's like an instanced world, whereas in the Dark Souls games they link them all together, or all the areas were interconnected or had interconnectivity. So, fashion souls. But equipping those gloves gives me just the fattest roll. So, could see the fire. Managed to dodge it. Got hit by it. No big deal. I'll just sneak past it. Oh, no, wait. Absolutely done myself. So, a spy runs down there and he's actually kind of invisible, but he ends up just running straight into trying to hit me and hits the fire and kills himself. So I just had like absolute gamer sense moment there. I couldn't see the enemy when I turned up, but just I could see like a little gap and was convinced to be something down there and just turned just at the time to hit him. So you can see there's the official again, and he is surrounded by bowmen. So missing all the shots, I'm just getting peppered by arrows. So this, I feel, so obviously there is a bow and arrow in, I think, all the Dark Souls games, but they're not really viable as to be like a main weapon. And the way the kind of enemies work is that generally speaking are going to rush you and you won't be able to have time to like whittle them down. Sometimes you can kind of cheese like larger things that get stuck behind terrain. But in this game it definitely feels like you need to have a bow and arrow, or at least some ranged weapon for sections like this where there are just so many range units that you either have to go in and you're fighting just with absolute panic the whole time, or you have to lead everything away from this area. So I'll just dip my... Oh, that's a red guy. So absolutely panicked here. Ran down, healed. Got my axe out. Was thought getting ready to parry. Nope. Didn't equip my shield. Forgot I was still using the small things. And the good old stab in the back. So it was back and I could hear like footsteps in the water. And I was trying to see where it is, and you can see there's the invisible spy, and just Just runs to his death. So, absolutely mucked that one up. The walls, or the weapons hitting the walls, really just caught me off guard. So I got back to where I was and decided to go left this time and see what it'll be a little bit easier. I was getting peppered. I could see now as there was even more crossbowmen. I was super conscious now of these guys because the other guy just did so much damage. But he showed me the back. This guy actually has a two-handed weapon. So, didn't want to risk the parry. Did not see that assassin guy just appear. Luckily enough, it's with the shield, is they tend to open themselves up to be hit pretty easily. We got some stealth throwing daggers. Okay, so we don't really need to see me missing repeatedly, so let's just speed this up. Even the way these guys like prance really annoys me. They've done such a good job of just making me instantly hateable. But whatever that halberd or whatever he has is terrifying. It's like, oh cool, some iron key rings. Better check out and see what those iron key rings are. A ring of iron keys. They all look the same. So, we get to the top of the ladder and take a look to see what we have going on. Not too bad. These guys are okay because you can... if you block them, you open them up to a hit. But if there's two of them, it's going to be tricky. I didn't see the assassin again, so absolute panic mode here. I figured taking the high ground should make sense. Not giving them the respect they deserve, and constantly going for the second attack when they're just able to rinse me. So, there's a guy who attacked me earlier on. So, didn't necessarily want to cheese him, but I didn't want to have to run the whole way back to get him. So, anyway, he aggroed and away he ran. I thought then he was going to back the whole way out, but decided I'd go meet him head on. I tried to jump past the ladder, which I actually can't. I could hear him clanging through the halls. Just saw flashes of them there. So, it's a clear battlefield. So, bit of out of management, you can send some stuff back to storage. There's a nice quality of life change would have been to have all the crafting materials just automatically go back to the base, because you don't actually need to have them on you to craft. You're able to craft anywhere, and it takes them from your storage. Or upgrade, rather. So I was trying to go down and figure out where all the weight was coming from. And then all it was just going to be full moon grass anyway. I thought I was going to get a helmet or something cool. So, decided to go back and check out the room that he was in and see what goodies there were. Just brazenly run into the dark area. Wait for the parry. Oh! There's more than one. To have the gall to go for the parry as well. So, definitely looks like there's a barricade, but like, who built the barricade? Was it the... Oh, and I found this guy again.
Hope you find something that suits you.
So, now that we're a bit further into the game, he's selling more of the higher grade healing items, which is great. So I think he sells everything up to late moon at the moment, or full moon, which is a huge heal. And I was looking at that tasty little axe, but you can see the prices are quite high. So pine resin, I don't think there's any other ones, but essentially is just like your modifier to your weapon that gives you additional damage.
Oh, the king! He's gone mad like the rest of them. Or perhaps he was mad in the first place. I can never tell with those eccentric royal oafs. It is the end of Great Boletaria as we know it. But hell.
And that's just his standard line. So I was saying is I wonder was it whoever was in here barricaded themselves so the soldiers couldn't get up. This is a pretty cool looking sword, but not strong enough to wield it just yet. So we make our way back up to where we were and carry on progressing. Secret dagger. So this versatile single-edged dagger is a standard issue for the King's Spies. Slashing weapons inflict heavy damage on soft flesh, but have a limited effect on metal armor and hard scales. Daggers deal the most after parrying, or better yet, stuck squarely into the enemy's back. So this, as I've been told, is that different weapon. And here's the great sword. This extremely large sword, similar to a straight sword, is a versatile weapon, but one that requires inhuman strength to wield. Its extreme weight can knock foes in the air. Bjor, of the Twin Fangs, is known to wield this weapon. So these are all characters that we haven't met. There was another one which is Frika, I think. But I don't know if we necessarily meet them, or if they're just like, they exist in the world for you to kind of imagine. So managed to take this guy out, and then saw that there was a flaming boulder. It's like, easy, I know to do this. It's probably going to go down those stairs though, so I'll stand here. Absolutely played me for an absolute fool. Was not expecting it to bounce like that way. Oh, spot the shiny. So doing good damage, just making light work of these guys, which is nice. He just couldn't get a lock on me. Thought these were gates, but nope. So one thing that I thought is funny, I haven't seen it since, but like the game, or the trailer anyway, they made a big song and dance pointing at the fact that you can vault. I've only seen it never happen once, and that was the one that they showed in the demo. So I was constantly trying to keep an eye out and trying to see if there was anywhere I could vault over. So as I stood up here at this lovely vantage point and looked around, I really contemplated just getting out the bow and picking out all these guys. But and I thought that's the coward's way. So I saw the gate up there, and I wanted to try and figure out, is there some way to get a shortcut? I was just looking around and couldn't find anything. So I just drop down and face these suckers like a man. Still haven't realized that they are not interactive gates. Try it anyway. Gonna look for secrets. Can't find any. So here's the guy who slammed the gate in our face. Looking up, it's a shortcut. So, shortcut opened. So that's going to lead back to the Arkstone. And got the official's cap. So, you know, got to be putting this on Fashion Souls. And then I heard the laugh, and the characters laughing as well, just like the officials. So let's take a look at the description. The signature hat worn by the king's officials. Wear it to pass as an official yourself. The rotund officials of Boletaria appeared just before the scourge of the demons. Once they ingratiated themselves with the king, they proceeded to mercilessly terrorize the masses. This uniform became a symbol amongst commoners as the despicable clique, also known for their uncanny, impenetrable grins. So, every time you put it on, you let out a little giggle. And also what's great as well is every time you teleport, you let out a little chuckle. So, I wonder then if is it the clothes itself that are kind of cursed, or have they been touched by the officials themselves? If the officials were human and then became demons, or they already are demons. So this is another like prime example of the kind of things that I find frustrating about the game. So it's difficulty by numbers rather than difficulty. So you can see as there's obviously guys coming at you, but then you have the archers that are constantly shooting as well. And there tends to be a lot of areas where they just like pack in a load of enemies to deal with, rather than like, let's say, a more elite and then a couple. I don't know. I think I would just prefer dealing with more elite than just a load of ones where they're a little bit more fiddly. So I was very proud of myself. I was using my bow to great effect, and then realized I ran out of arrows. Probably should equip my sword and shield, or axe and shield rather. I was trying to figure out how I was going to deal with this archer, and I think I just decided in the end I'm just going to have to run at him. And damn the consequences. Which, you know, instantly aggroed these three guys with spears and shields. So I was looking at this one guy kind of peeled away from the tank. I was able to get some good damage on. Like, they go down once you hit them, but their attack animations are tough. So they do this like charge, and then they do like a stab after that does 2 hits. So like each of their attacks are like multi-hits if they're charging or if they do a stab kind of thing. So now these guys were just stuck on each other. So when one was attacking, the other was charging. So probably could be playing a lot safer there and not go for that third swing. So it's draining me of my stamina, so I can't then get away. So I was like, Grant, 2 down. Getting in for the backstab, missed it. And then 1 quick stab. So I spent a couple more attempts to get past them. did a little bit more exploring around, found some other areas, but in the end I went back to the Nexus, stocked up on arrows, as you can see, because it was late at this stage and I wanted to try and get to the boss to at least take a look at it in this episode. So pinged out the archers first, and then as Demon's Souls continues to be a stealth game, I somehow managed to attract all the guards. I don't know whether they were alerted by the sound of the arrow hitting their compatriot. One thing that's really getting me, and I've probably mentioned it before, is the shove, whatever that is, because you hit it with, like when you tap forward an R1 at this, I think on the same instance, I'm constantly hitting it. So I kind of noticed here that the three red-eyed guys, I was like, oh damn, they've aggroed. But again, since Demon's Souls is a stealth game, they're investigating what's going on. Huh? Just a box. So managed to take out the last archer, and then aggroed this last Boletarian soldier. Well, attempted to. Second time's a charm. Forget to equip my weapon again. So I was convinced that these would be one pack. Conveniently not. So hit one, he aggroes, but the other two obviously have to investigate. So I was delighted with this because it meant this was more approachable now. So again, investigate, see what's going on. I thought this time I'm gonna be the big man. I'm gonna run up and fight him. I had contemplated going for a parry, but I didn't want to push my luck. So that's the boss run, so not actually too bad. I actually did make an attempt to run past them, and all three of them descended on me and destroyed me. So it's like, great, time to fight the Fat Controller and take him down. It's like, I was convinced he was going to turn into like something now. Some big, dirty looking demon. Then what's this? So when I saw that weapon, I thought that this was Bjor. So the guy, when you read the description for the greatsword, I thought that this was going to be him. He said that he wields a weapon like that. I was like, oh, cool. Finally getting to meet one of the characters. But no, Penetrator. This guy is cool. So his attacks are really nice, like they're just very slow and deliberate. It's the, I'll show it when it comes up. This attack here is so awkward to try and deal with because you expect it to be the same as anything, or same as the other ones that have the build-up time. I think actually get to see what that weapon or that attack does, but it looks like it'd be nearly like a grapple. So this guy reminds me of a less aggressive Artorias. And this again is like the idea, I talked about this earlier on, like about the Flame Lurker, the idea of like attritional bosses. The way the healing works is you're incentivized to heal more, or to have enough, like if you compare it to Dark Souls or Sekiro, where you have limited heals, you have to be far more cautious throughout the battle, whereas I can just take a hit and then just go and heal it. I can just really take my time with the boss. So the timing of that double swing, I just cannot wrap my head around it. Everything else is fine. And I think I get a couple of them where I'm able to dodge them. So like there, I keep thinking that I'm after dodging it, but the way that the hitboxes work is that they continue. Managed to finally get the timing down and then instantly lose it again. This guy, even like his armor is awesome. So sweating at this point because I managed to catch the health bar in my corner of my eye. I'm going to try and see if I could one-shot him. I was so tempted to go for the final swing there. Finally, on the last swing, deal with his delayed swing and take out the penetrator. So that was the end of episode 5 of this Demon Souls playthrough. A little bit of a strange one, having to commentate the whole way through it. There's a lot more talking than in my usual playthroughs because I can't focus on talking. But thanks so much for joining in.